Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to get into our walk in just a moment, but I had to share this is a preview, a pre-walk message, if you will. I heard from Charles, and my heart goes out to you, Charles, and he says, why do I always end up, no matter what happens to anyone, it's my fault, I end up holding the bag. And so today, the topic we're getting into is to please stop internalizing. Stop internalizing everything. And this happens so much for sensitive people, and there's a reason for that. Lean in when I share some information about the scapegoat. Possibly, if you're listening to this, you've been a scapegoat for a lot of people. And there's something I want you to keep at the forefront of your mind. And this really helped me, being a sensitive person myself, moving out of that space of just constantly making things personal and internalizing. Catch this, everyone. Then we're going to put your jacket on and get ready for the walk because it's chilly here on the East Coast. Catch this. What I want you to keep at the forefront of your mind. This is a question to ask yourself every time. Okay, could they have handled it differently? If it's your fault and you did something where you need to, then do that. That's what I'm sorry is for. You can circle back. But so often we will internalize, and perhaps they could have been nicer. Perhaps they could have taken it, what you said, in a different way. Perhaps they could have been more accommodating. But when we internalize, everything is your fault, and you take it in and you cannibalize yourself and you knock yourself down, and then you wonder, oh my God, why am I feeling this way? Because you've been beating yourself up. All of that stuff gets internalized. And you know what really cracks me up? I have to chuckle. The people who could stand to internalize some of this more, they're off having a sandwich. They're off having a sandwich, a slice of chocolate cake, doing whatever, and it's a sensitive soul. So this is a very key message for all of you today. Put on your shoes, get your jacket going, your mittens, because it's getting chilly. I don't know where you are, but it's chilly here. And come on, take a walk with me. Hello everyone, welcome back to the lift with your Auntie Sheila. We are back out here by the water. It's gorgeous. I mean, the sun is just about going down, but that's not gonna stop us. I want everyone to please make your wish. You know how we like to start it out. Get yourself centered. Think about what's going on in your life. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, and go ahead and make your wish. All right, I made my wish. Let's go ahead and get started, everyone. I'm going to encourage you. Earlier in this summer, a lot of people were out at the park. It's really slowed down. Why? Because it's a little bit chilly. But guess what? That's not going to stop me. I'm going to be out here for our walks on a consistent basis. Get your gym shoes on. I do not want to be the only one out here walking. If need be, I'll do it, but I would prefer your company. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into our topic today. Today we're going to be spending some time talking about internalizing things and the danger of internalizing things that happen to you, other people's behavior. This is particularly relevant if you are what I would call a sensitive soul. I heard from Charles, and I want to read the letter that Charles sent. Dear Sheila, I consider myself to be very self-aware. I think about other people. When I'm hurt, my first instinct is not to lash out. This past weekend, I was all set to help my sister move. And at the last minute, she said the move would take place on a Sunday instead of a Saturday. I couldn't make it on Sunday. nor would my truck be available that day. She gave me a very chilly response and has not followed up since. Intellectually, I know it's not my fault, but I feel bad. I'm tired of feeling bad because other people are bad. What is this and how can I stop? Charles. Well, Charles, you can't. Your Auntie Sheila, you reached out to the right person. I want to talk about what that is, what that response is, and more than that, guys, this channel is really focused on solutions. So I want to give you some things to think about, Charles, because it sounds like you have what I call an automatic default to internalizing things and that don't have anything to do with you. Now look, there is a difference. There is a distinct difference between being self-aware and defaulting to internalizing things. What does it mean to internalize? When we internalize something, we make what has happened. It could be a circumstance, it could be someone's behavior, but what we do will make that a part of us. That's what it means to internalize. And often that habit is a habitual habit, and 9 times out of 10, it starts in childhood. Not all the time, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of people ask yourself, if you internalize things quite a bit, a question you can ask yourself, was I a scapegoat early on? Were you scapegoated constantly coming of age? Let me share a story with you that will bring this home. And by the way, I have 2 video programs on this channel that deal with the phenomenon of scapegoating, but I'll come right back to that. So a few years ago, I was sitting with this woman and she said, Sheila, I've done everything that I can for my partner. Now, she was fairly successful in her work and what she was doing. The issue is her partner was working on a business, couldn't seem to get things off the ground, was constantly scapegoating her. You're not supportive enough. You're not helping me enough. And I can tell you, based on what I witnessed, based on what was shared with me, she really could not have done more. I mean, when you have a woman who is sitting on online, that website Indeed, she's filling out more applications than him. So I would say, Indeed, sir, Indeed, you need to get up off your behind and stop gaslighting her and get your business taken care of. But the point being, she was so habituated into internalizing this she was working harder to find this man a job than he was. And not only working harder to find him a job, she was feeling bad. She was feeling downtrodden and bad about it. That is the danger, you guys. And I asked her, I said, listen, let me ask you a question. It's just based on some interpretations and some things I'm picking up on. Were you scapegoated a lot coming of age? And it kind of stopped her right in her tracks. And she said, Sheila, how did you know? How did you know? You guys, I'm not psychic. I'm not, but it was obvious based on the behaviors and how she was responding. And she said, Sheila, every single thing was my fault. If my parents fought each other, it was my fault, Sheila, 100%. If my siblings weren't getting along, Sheila, it was my fault. everything. And so coming of age, that is just the position that I would go ahead and assume. So you can see, as we're discussing, how very dangerous, this can be. I want to share with you all, a lot of people, you hear this word scapegoat, and you think, oh, isn't that just a fun, kind of a cute, interesting story? This was real. The scapegoat, this was an actual goat that was sacrificed. What people would do, they would find a goat, they did a ritualistic ceremony. This is biblical. You can check it out. Check it out in a good book. I'm bringing you the best information possible. They would make their sacrifices and they would cast their cares on this goat. And what happened, the goat would then be set free in the desert, in the wilderness, to die. This goat was literally carrying their burdens. Do you believe that people have stopped that ritual? People haven't stopped that ritual. Everybody, they've modernized the ritual. And if you put yourself in a position to be the scapegoat and to take it all on and to internalize, Charles, as you said, I'm tired of feeling bad because people are bad. If you decide to do that, you're going to end up like the scapegoat, wandering for days in the wilderness, disconnected from who you are, from what you are, distracted. And so the danger, as we assume that position and we internalize, is this. And this is what I want you to hold on to. People who internalize, and I should know, because I used to be one of them, and from time to time it'll creep up and I beat it back. I beat that energy back with my tools. You guys, we're here at the root tree. I love this tree because it reminds me to stay focused on what matters. Stay connected to the roots of your life. Now go ahead and make your second wish. We're at the root tree, everyone. It's gorgeous. Make your second wish. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. The danger is when you internalize, you never lay the blame. Now catch this for a minute. You never lay the blame where it truly belongs. You instantly put it on your shoulders and you never lay it where it belongs. Now, Charles, in your case, let's talk about where the blame belongs. I know that's your sister. God bless her. I mean, no disrespect whatsoever. A classy person, someone who was centered and balanced, you were ready to help her on Saturday with your truck, ready to roll up your sleeves, help her with the move. What a classy person would have done is said, brother, thank you so much. I appreciate it just the same. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out. But you know what? That's on me. That's not on you. I appreciate it just the same. Now, the key words are a classy person who's functioning in balance. And that's not what's happening with your sister. She's out of balance. She feels entitled. And what she decided to do was push that negativity off on you. And you sound like a wonderful person, a nice person. I know you are, because that's the kind of person that's attracted to this channel. So I really want you to hear my message and hear what I'm saying very, very clearly. That is her problem. Those are her issues. And I want you to really sit with that deeply. A lot of times when we're getting into this work, folks will tune in to the videos, they'll take it in, but a big mistake that people make, you don't sit down with a cup of hot chocolate, tea, coffee, your beverage of choice, and really go into reflection on this work. So 2 things. It's not your fault. And this individual, if they were in balance, they would have responded differently. And what happens when you internalize, you take that toxic response as the only potential option. And because of that, you'll sit with it and chew on it. And because they're treating you like you're wrong and bad, spiritually, emotionally, you will go into agreement with it. But Sheila, it's habitual. How do I stop? Here's the formula. I just gave you half of it. Is to discipline yourself to sit when that stuff is going on. I've said it in so many videos. Go back into the body of work. In order to heal and to walk upright, what do I always say? The foundation is you must become an observer of yourself. You must become an observer of yourself. And when you do that, it doesn't mean that this nonsense stops happening. It will happen, but it means you go right into the tools. I have a reflective tool. I can sit down with myself. You can avoid potholes in the road if you can see them. Doesn't mean they're not going to be in the road. It means, woo, I'm really vigilant as I'm driving and I can see what is going on. So this is a piece that I want everyone to keep in mind. Go back into the basics and become a phenomenal, a truthful observer of yourself. And when you do that, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. You're literally seated in a position where, hold on, I see something is happening. This is going on. Let me sit down, assume the observant position, and before I let this nonsense seep into my spirit, and I'm hunched over, and I get myself in a fetal position, couple questions. Is there any part of this that I need to assume responsibility for? And if there is, take the responsibility. And if there's not, I once heard a very wise woman say, as long as I'm fair, decent, respectful, and kind, I can walk through this world with my head held high. And so again, when you are accustomed to automatically internalizing garbage that does not belong to you, it may take you a little bit of work to discipline yourself to stop that automatic response. But you know what? The more you work that muscle, it gets better and better. And you guys know, you watch this channel. If you're new to the channel, you'll get to know it. If you've been with me for a while, you know that one of my core messages, you do not have to do this work alone. You do not have to do this work and retool on your own strength. I would be remiss if I did not direct each and every one of you. You're having a struggle. Pray about it. Go to God. Go to your angels. Ask for some support and assist. It will be there for you every single time. And so, Charles, another key piece of advice for you, begin to pray over yourself so that a spirit of discernment a spirit of healing comes through you. And when that happens, whether it's your sister or whether it's someone else, that you are shored up. You can go ahead. You don't have to be frustrated. You don't have to be nasty about it. You don't have to be upset about it. You can go ahead and you can release her in love and become very aware that hurt people hurt people. We don't have to go over this again. People who are out of balance, you guys, you're going to get results that are not balanced from these individuals. Now, as they say, we're out here with all these trees, right? You will know the tree by the fruit it bears. Good tree, good fruit. Bad tree, rotted fruit. And that's not to say that the hand of God can't come in and get people straightened out. But Charles, I'm going to close this message with what you opened with. You said, Sheila, I'm tired of feeling bad because of these bad people. So that's over today. Just take this message, replay it again and again. You don't need to be anyone's scapegoat. Stay upright, stay fair, keep it real. And you know, I'm going to do the same for you all. I'll be back very soon with some more key messages. See you next time.